What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about counting your macros 2.0. Let's do 2.0. That's a little better. But before I do that, it's just going to be a more holistic approach to counting your macros. But before I do that, make sure you press that subscribe button. That little bell notification next to it is YouTube, and that'll tell YouTube to post my video in your feed every time I post a video, or send you a notification to your phone, because I don't think it posts to your phone all the time. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the video. Counting your macros works. It definitely works. There's a tremendous, if you want to change your body composition, whether that's putting on muscle or losing some fat, counting your macros does work. As much as you might hear it doesn't, it does work. If you need to have this many number of calories per day to maintain exactly where you are right now, and you eat slightly over that, like, you're going to gain in the long run. And what counting your macros is telling you, like, if you need to make, say, pancakes, right? And you're going to use flour, and you're going to use eggs, and you're going to use water to make pancakes. And you use fucking 18 times as many eggs as you need to, right? You need one egg, and you use 18 eggs. Like, your pancakes are probably going to be slightly fucked up, right? Just a smidge. So that's kind of like what people's diets are. If you're talking about from an overweight standpoint, people do that with carbohydrates. So the same example, what I just talked about, right? 18, and obviously eggs is not carbohydrates. I'm talking about that as an analogy for how people consume macronutrients in their diet. They won't eat necessarily the what might be an optimal diet based on their goals. They'll eat something that they just feel like it without any fucking purpose behind it, and that tends to be way too many carbohydrates if they have a goal, right? Like, this is all predicated on you fucking knowing what you want. If you don't give a shit, then who cares? Like, go do you. But if you have a goal and you want to, say, lose some fat or put on some muscle, like, you can change those macronutrients to make your pancake fucking taste better. Or in this case, you can change your macronutrients to get your results much faster. So you may be thinking, Sam, this is fucking counting your macros. This is the same shit as everybody else. That's correct. However, now is where I get into 2.0. So counting your macros does work, as I mentioned. But in my opinion, it leaves out a crucial portion of what makes you feel good every day. Like, makes you operate, makes all your organs operate at the optimal level, makes you think more clearly, clears up that brain fog, and just allows you to be more energetic and just feel the like vibrant, or like that, you know what I mean? Those days where you're just like fucking on point. That's how I feel all the time. And maybe not every day, but I feel that way a tremendous amount of time. And that's because I believe it's obviously a good portion has to do with mental, in my opinion. But where it comes into the macros is the macronutrients, and that's where a lot of people stop. But then there's micronutrients. So micronutrients are your vitamins and your minerals. So when I do my meal prep, I almost always have 5 vegetables per meal, right? And why do I do that instead of just having a shitload of broccoli or green beans or something? Because broccoli or green beans are great, but they only have a certain type of micronutrients in them, or phytonutrients. There's a fucking giant spectrum of different components that go into the food, just like that we don't even understand it at this level of science that we're at in 2019, and they don't even have a clear understanding of what some of these things do. So I add in a large variety to what I'm consuming, and I'll even change it up. So like this week, instead of having regular sized tomatoes, or I don't even know what like the name of that is, like a large like apple-sized tomato, I switched to cherry tomatoes because I'm sure there's some type of micronutrient difference in those. Excuse me. This coming weekend, when I switch to onion, when I get my onions, I'm switching the type of onion from just a regular white onion to a red onion. And so the five vegetables that I'm having lately in my food is garlic. I think garlic's amazing from a flavor standpoint, and it's just really good for you. Onions, tomatoes, and arugula and spinach, which are just dark green leafy vegetables, and they're fucking delicious. Like, my food tastes amazing, and I'm generally not having a lot of carbohydrates, although this week I've got, you know, about 14 or 15 pounds left of rice to use up. So I've been using this much rice, like this, right? I'm 230 pounds, and I eat a shitload, and I go to the gym all the time, and this is how much I'm having in rice. I'm not saying you should do that. This is my carbs, right? I'm gonna have some right now in terms of a delicious quesadilla. But a lot of times I won't have carbs during the day, and I'll backload them, or I'll just have low carbs in general throughout the entire day, including the evening. And then on top of those 5 vegetables, then I add in probably in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 different types of spices. So I've got, and I'm just going to look down so I can read them off to you. I've got black pepper, I've got chili powder, I've got parsley, I've got cumin, I've got garlic salt, I've got curry, I've got crushed red pepper, I've got oregano, and then I have basil, and lastly I'll use the garlic sriracha. Oh, this stuff's fucking amazing. More garlic. But all those have different micronutrients in them, and I load my shit up with the herbs and spices, and I'm constantly adding in or switching up the vegetables that I do use, right? Because I've got the arugula, I've got the spinach, I've got onion, I've got garlic, I've got tomato, and then I'll change up one of those, right? I just switched the type of tomato I was using. This weekend, I'm going to keep the tomato the same, but I'm going to switch up the onion. And 2 weeks ago, I was using kale and cabbage. I'm just perpetually changing it up, and you don't have to do it every week. Maybe I'll stay that way for 3 weeks or even a month and a half, and then switch it up. But generally, it's probably not going to be a month and a half. But a lot of times it will be multiple weeks in a row, and then I'll switch back, or sometimes I'll switch during the week. And even the macronutrients in terms of the protein, like I switch up my protein throughout the week. Not only like I have chicken, I have beef. I also have it's ground turkey and ground beef throughout what I'm eating, and that. A lot of times I do that is because they have different, they digest at a different rate in terms of how quickly they digest in my body. So I would rather have a more steady stream of amino acids coming into my blood consistently. So I actually mix a lot of the meat together. So like maybe the ground beef and the chicken I'll mix together because they both absorb at a different rate, where the chicken I'll absorb more quickly. So then I'll get a spike in terms of the amino acids in my blood, and then I'll get a more sustained level of the amino acids in my blood from the breakdown of the beef. But right now I'm going to be going on vacation relatively soon, so I switched most of the days. I would say probably 5 of the days of the week to ground turkey, just from the standpoint that it is lower in fat content versus ground turkey, so that I can reduce my calories and I'm still eating a pound of each. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure you press that that little thumbs up button, just gently with your finger, you just tap on that shit. And then it's right next to that red button. If you haven't pressed that subscribe button, you know what to do, son. But Counting Your Macros 2.0 is much more about doing what's healthy than it is about going to fucking eat Pop-Tarts or McDonald's or have ice cream every single day and still be lean. Because I feel fucking amazing, and fairly regularly, maybe once maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, I have like a fucking crazy cheat meal. And I'm not even thinking about it as a cheat meal. I just wanted Taco Bell the other day, so I got Taco Bell. And, you know what I mean? It's nothing crazy. There's not like, you just do, like, this allows you to do this. If you know that you're going to have a crazy weekend because a bunch of friends are in town, or you have a wedding, or this, that, and the other thing, it's like if you're going to go on a vacation, right? You might want to save up for your vacation. The same thing will work for the weekend if your goals are important to you from a fitness standpoint. You can cut back on your calories. So if you're going to go out drinking and doing a lot of other shit in the weekend in terms of overeating or going to parties, you can just cut back. So say Monday through Friday, you can cut 300 calories per day. That's 1,500 calories, and then not have to really be a huge impact in terms of a detriment towards moving towards your fitness goals. So hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for future videos. Peace out.